I'm Elaine. Welcome to my blog .stampwithelaine.com and welcome to today's project. I made this for a friend's granddaughter's birthday, but I'll be making it in a landscape orientation instead of portrait. To make this card, I'm using the Pick a Pennant photopolymer stamp set. This comprises 76 stamps, which includes two types of pennants, numerals, double letters for repetitive letters in a word, individual pennants, and some other fun images. The dies that coordinate with it, there are 8 altogether. Let me show you these ones first. This will cut out a whole pennant, but these ones only partially cut. You can see here I've sort of popped it up a little bit so that they stand out from, can you see that? Stands out from the actual card. The other 4 dies will cut out the tassel here, the bow, the little bird, and this configuration of flowers here. If you purchase the stamp set and the dies together as a bundle, it will save you 10%. The other stamp set I'm using is Birthday Backgrounds. The inks I'm using are Grapefruit Grove and So Saffron. My card base is half an A4 sheet. In Europe this will measure 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8 inches. That's 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters. With the long side on top, I've scored it at 4 1/8, that's 10.5 centimeters, and folded it in half. I have a So Saffron layer, which measures 3 7/8 by 5 5/8, that's 9.8 centimeters by 14.3 centimeters. 2 Whisper White pieces, cut at 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. That's 8.2 centimeters by 14 centimeters. And then I've got scraps of Whisper White and So Saffron to cut out my banners. Adhesive back sequins, and of course you need the Big Shot and magnetic platform. As this is a photopolymer stamp, I'm going to need a cushion for better ink coverage. Place my grid paper on top, and this is a fairly long block, so to ensure I ink it up properly, I'm going to take my ink pad to the stamp instead of the stamp to the ink pad. Obviously this stamp is much larger than, well, longer than the ink pad. Take off any excess colour that I've picked up on the block. Stamp off first, then stamp on, and ink it up again. Clean the block, stamp off, stamp on. I'm going to use the triangular pennant and go back and stamp on some of the pennants, and that will give it the darker shade. I'm going to swap it for the spotty pennant. Change it for the stripy one. Now I'm going to ink up the So Saffron. Clean my block and stamp off. Repeat, and I've stamped off and inked it up again. This time I'll put that there. Probably fast forward this. Next I'm going to show you how I made this deep cut on my pennants. First you die cut this piece with this scallop. To make a sandwich you need the magnetic platform, the bottom cutting plate, followed by your cardstock and the die with the cutting edge face down. Then top cutting plate, and I'll go and do that off camera. So I've die cut this deep impression here, and if I want it to be a free banner like this, pennant, then I just place that on top and fit it into the groove. You will feel it. It just sits in that groove quite nicely, and then you go and cut it again. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. If you watched my Top Tip Tuesday yesterday, then you will know how I mounted the letters on my block so that I could stamp it all at the same time. If you didn't, I'll just recap quickly. This is the front of your banner or your pennant. You turn it upside down so that the front is face down on your work surface. Then you place your block on top, make sure it's straight, and then you take a pair of tweezers and your letters, and then select the letters you need to spell your word, and you start from the right and move along to the left. Then when it comes to stamping your letters and you turn the block round, it will be in the right position. Bring back my foam mat, ink it up with So Saffron. I'm going to stamp it on this coloured piece of cardstock, the So Saffron scrap of cardstock. See, it's all stamped at once. Put a bit of Tombow glue just at the top. Trim off the ends. I'm just using this image here from Birthday Banners. Adhere this to the So Saffron layer. Then adhere this to the Grapefruit Grove layer. I'll attach some sequins as well. Very quickly for the inside of the card, I do the same. Stamp off, stamp on, and I'm using the streamers from Birthday Backgrounds, and maybe just a couple of candles. Inside of the card done. Tombow glue on the back. And then put that inside the card. So there you have it, one in portrait and one in landscape. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. Do give me a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, or share on Facebook, and my grateful thanks if you do. If you're watching from YouTube, you'll find the list of supplies I use below this video in the Show More section, with direct links to my online store. They'll also be listed on my blog at blog.stampwithelaine.com. You can find me on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.